This week on Nerds Who Get Laid Sometimes, the nerds unfortunately are down a mic. But they reluctantly trooper on. They get to discuss the Boba Fett movie, Solo, Watchmen, Hotel Artemis, and more in the news section. And, as always, they give you a little day in their nerd lives with their NerdOn. So enjoy this episode of Nerds Who Get Laid Sometimes.
Nerds who get laid. 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 Nerds who get laid.
Hey, welcome to Nerds Get Laid.
Sometimes.
And a happy Memorial Day? Is that the
Weekend, I guess.
Stay dry. Can you say Happy Memorial Day?
Isn't that what people say?
Happy
good,
Memorial Day.
good.
Yeah, I have heard that said to me
Have
before.
a happy Memorial Day.
I'm
Maybe
glad you're
good Memorial Day.
glad your relative died for our country.
You know, when someone was talking about it, like, when you really think about it, people are like barbecuing, slamming beers, and just partying.
I'm asleep.
Ain't no one memorizing or doing memorials. It's a
day off.
Ain't no one memorizing the names of those people passed.
When I die, that's what I want you guys doing at my memorial.
Memorizing,
having a barbecue, popping beers.
popping pills.
Yeah.
Don't even do them. I'm doing heroin at TJ's funeral.
Exactly.
I would say I would do it at Ray's, but I don't want to start doing heroin so young. And I'm pretty sure Ray's going to leave this world a lot sooner than everyone expects.
I was thinking that the other day that he should have
except for his life insurance company.
a pre-recorded message for the podcast.
Yeah.
Like if he dies suddenly, that it'll just go out, but he has to stop it every day so it doesn't go out.
You should just record a death cast.
Yeah.
And it'll be your final podcast.
If you're listening to this podcast, I'm dead.
Yeah.
This is episode R. R is for Ray.
This is the Omega. And we're finally closing out. We're going to give you our predictions of what's going to happen in cinema. And it's everything sucks except for Marvel. This is Ray Hancock signing off. My iron lung parts didn't come in, and I'm finally dead. So
I thought a 3D printer could make iron lung parts, but they couldn't.
or a lung.
A plastic lung just doesn't really do it.
It looks cool, and it's a great centerpiece, but doesn't really breathe like I thought it would. There's a lot more into this thing than skin. Well, with that being said, let's go to the NerdOns.
Get your nerd on. 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 Get your nerd on.
Hey, nerd listeners, we got the inside scoop on this awesome new website that just launched 10 years ago called YouTube. Now, Ray wanted us to help drive some traffic there because he heard they're hurting for views.
If you like internet videos, you might want to go there.
Yeah. Do you like random videos of whatever you want? You probably never heard of this video, but it's called YouTube. Also, sometimes Ray posts videos of himself trying on different high heels when Allison's not at work. But the video we'll approve as a podcast
is on YouTube.
Is on YouTube. So the Nerds Who Get Laid YouTube channel, and that is where Ray paints a lot of nails and figures. And lately, he's been playing with a lot of toys.
Yeah, I've got a lot of toys. That's part of my NerdOn, so we'll get into that in a little bit.
This is NerdOn, so go ahead, Ray.
So what is our YouTube handle?
Oh, you can find us at Nerds Who Get Laid. YouTube.com/Nerds Who Get Laid. Go follow us, subscribe. We're trying to put up at least a video a week, and possibly more. Like last week, I talked about the comic collection that I purchased. I'm trying to put some videos of that stuff up, and we're gonna try to beef up our YouTube content. Right now, it's mostly just videos of things.
Yeah,
and me doing doing, so like he said, some time lapse of painting and stuff like that. We're gonna start doing some reviews of all these hot toy figures they've got coming in.
Oh man!
So probably some Lego stuff, board games, the stuff we're into. So check that out. But that's not what you're here for. What you're hearing for right now is my NerdOn. And my NerdOn this week. So every week, I don't always talk about the comics I read, because I do read comics every single week. But this week, I ran through the Jeff Lemire Moon Knight. And I'd read a few of those, and they were really, really good. But this week, I saw that all of them were finally on Marvel Unlimited. So I went back and reread the ones I'd read and read the rest of them, and it is so good. They're doing such a good job of just, like, I feel crazy reading these, which that's if you haven't read Moon Knight, that's one of the things. He has, like, multiple personality disorder, and, like, he's been in mental hospitals and stuff like that. And from reading these, I'm just, like, so lost, and it feels so crazy, and it just fits so well. So that run was really, really good. I think it's about 12 issues or so, and then after it's done is when they've gone back to the legacy numbering. So I just read the first one of that, and that was also good. So I'm looking forward to that. I've collected most of these, but I hadn't read all of them, and when they pop up on Marvel Unlimited, it's a lot easier to read them. So if you're into Moon Knight or not, I would recommend checking that one out. It's all on Marvel Unlimited.
It's got to be so hard trying to get into comics now because of that.
Yeah.
Volumes and numbering, and
it's even whenever I go on the Marvel Unlimited and I want to read something, I always feel I'm going to somehow fuck it up
or miss something.
Yeah, when to jump in. Yeah. Like with Thanos, I was like, man, I really want to read some stuff about him. And there's so many different ways you can go, and it can be just overwhelming, or just like I said, you don't want to read the wrong thing and then be like, "Oh, this character sucks," and you just read a bad run.
Well, and I think some of that is like generational and the way society is now. We're such a completist society because we can be. Like, if you want to watch all of a series now, you go on Netflix and you push play and you watch every damn one of them. Yeah. When I was a kid, I watched Buffy, but you know what? I missed a lot of them, and they would put them on in random order, and so I would just watch it, and I'd be confused. Same thing with comic books. My dad would take me to the store and buy me a comic book, and I'd read this thing. I didn't know who this bad guy was that Spider-Man was fighting this week. I'd read it, and I might not get next month's issue or the months after that, and then I'd get another one.
Yeah, for all you know, but Spider-Man's getting his ass kicked for eternity.
You just know that if you know this is Spider-Man, and you just kind of hold on for the rest of the ride. And that's the way comics were for me when I was a kid. You just got what you got. Yeah. And I grew up in Live Oak. We didn't have a comic book shop. Yeah. The times we went to a comic book shop,
it was Food Lion.
Yeah, it was Food Lion or the Jiffy Store, the SNS or whatnot. And you would pick up what was there, and sometimes they wouldn't have what you'd been reading. No. And sometimes you just read stuff like Warlock and the Infinity Watch or whatever weirdo stuff. But but now everyone wants to start from a certain place and everything, and I get it because I absolutely am one of those people. So I think that makes it harder. But like I said, when I was a kid, I didn't get to do that, and I still got stuff. I still understood a good portion of it. Yeah. I mean, I read fucking X-Men back then. That stuff now, going through it sequentially, is confusing as hell still. So, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. It is hard. I went to so last week I got a bunch of comics. This week I went to my parents' house, and we went in the burning heat and went over to up into the attic and just tore through a bunch of my toys when I was a kid.
Finally.
I've been talking about it for a while.
Ever.
Well, I got someone, I think my mom mentioned something about how hot it is in the attic, and I'm like, oh shit, she's right. Oh no. Yeah. That they've been up there for like 20 years. Yeah. This might be horrible. So
I didn't see a lot of yellowing on the plastic though.
Some of them did have yellowing. It seemed to be the newer toys. The stuff from the 90s seemed to be worse than some of the older stuff, because I'm working on a little like kind of just video of this, but of some of the Star Wars toys that I have from the original series. I have the big Darth Vader that opens up and holds all your figures in it and everything. And I had like one of the not like the prototype, not the $1 million one or anything, but like one of the first Lukes that had the saber in the arm, and the Vader and the Obi-Wan, and two Princess Leias. I think I had a Hoth Han. I didn't have the original one. Chewie, C-3PO, R2-D2, all those things. I was excited because I did have the Bosk, the IG-88, and the Dengar.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. But those held up pretty well. They still look really good.
That Jawa you have looks like it came out of a package yesterday.
The Jawa still has his like cloth tunic thing on, which is really, really cool. But yeah, so I have a lot of those. I went through all of my Marvel superheroes, which there were a bunch of.
Yeah.
I'm working up a video of that just to kind of show those off a little bit, because I figure maybe one of you out there were interested in it. And we were digging through a box tonight that we brought home, and a bunch of Aliens and Predator. I didn't remember having a lot of those, but those were kind of fun too. And while I was going through my comics that I got last week, because that's been another one of my things I've been doing hard this week, is boarding and bagging a lot of those comics. I've done 2 videos. One of them was a close to full run of West Coast Avengers, Dark Hawk run that's almost complete, and Guardians of the Galaxy. So I've got a couple more of those, but while I've been sleeving or putting those in bags and boards, I watched The Toys That Made Us season. Is it season 2? It was supposed to be season 1, but
it's
maybe
the
it's
last
2.
half of season 1.
Oh, is that updated?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
So
The only one I haven't watched is Transformers.
Yeah, so they had the Transformers,
Man, I'm
Star
fucking
Trek.
excited.
Yeah, they're good. It's Transformers, Star Trek, Hello Kitty, and Lego. And I've seen a ton of Lego documentaries, but I just like the way they do their stuff.
Yeah. The editing's really good in it.
It really is, because they keep going back to the one dude who talks about the system.
Yeah.
And they'll be interviewing someone else, and the person will say, well, and this Lego didn't go by, and then they'll cut back to him saying, the system.
Yep.
So it's really good. It was really fun. I even we talked about the Barbie one before and how much that was still nice to
Even
watch.
though it doesn't apply to you, it was just
Same
shot
thing with
and done well.
the Hello Kitty one.
It was interesting, but not as interesting to me as the Barbie one was.
No, but I really liked the what was it, like Small Gift, Big Smile, or something like that, Big Happiness or something.
It's amazing where that empire started. It's
I mean,
crazy.
as far as like documentaries go, it's a real good documentary.
To see what goes on
It's a
with
great
Hello Kitty.
documentary.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the Transformers one was great because they talk about a lot of the Marvel being involved in it and where all the characters came from. Because I knew that that there were mechs and stuff like that in Japan. I didn't know how huge that was and how these characters were already like something else.
Yeah.
And basically in the US, we took all the things that they had already made and made a story behind it.
Classic America.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of old news for me, I think.
Oh, it probably is. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
But that was like really.
I know the intro video with Bob Budiansky. The one detail they leave out of that video is they know how they tell it. They say they came to him on a weekend. They're like, "Hey, we
need this done by the end of the
we have this done
weekend
by Monday."
26 characters or something.
Yeah, 26 brand new characters and a storyline to go around it. That was on a Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh wow!
They came to him on Wednesday afternoon
of Thanksgiving
weekend and said, "Hey, come back on Monday with this."
I feel so bad for Katie watching this episode with TJ because all she's going to hear is,
That's not right.
Poppycock.
I knew that.
Oh, for the consistent.
Wait, pause it. No, let me tell you the real story, Katie. I know this guy's the one that actually created it.
Whoa.
But let me tell you how I heard.
From what I hear, she may not be awake for it.
Yeah. Well, and also
She said she does fall asleep.
It's gonna be hard for
You
DJ
said
to
that.
explain this
said
stuff
that.
while ejaculating all over the place for 35 minutes.
She's gonna
I don't have that much in me.
She's gonna get up in the
Just
middle of
drink
the night.
milk. It refills
She's
it.
gonna hear like the jangling of change pocket, be like, "He's watching a goddamn dirty movie," and she walks out. And his pants around his ankle. He's watching the Transformers Toys That Made Us episode for the 400th time.
But that one was excellent. I think that one was about as good to me as the Masters of the Universe one.
That's good.
The Star Trek one was a lot of fun because they just talk about how shitty all of the Star Trek toys
And they
were.
said they're going to do that with the next season that they're going to do, the next series of documentaries they're going to do. They're going to do like toy lines that failed, that were really bad, and why they how they affected us as kids and everything.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too. But Star Trek is one of those that was very much at. They just slap a label on
anything,
any fucking
tanks,
thing,
all kinds of stuff, and
like Astro Tank.
Yeah, and then they'd sell it with the Star Trek people that were just like army men. So it's just like Captain Kirk with a bazooka.
Can we put some jetpacks on this tank I got here? I got some nerds that'll buy it.
And what was the last one?
The Lego.
Yeah, the Lego. Yeah, I talked about that one a little bit, and that one was really good because it talked about all of them, like about failing 100 times during the 90s and 2000s. So those are really, really good. If you haven't watched the first part of the season or the first season or whatever, definitely give those a watch. These new ones are just
8
as good.
episodes. They're all great.
Yeah, they're like 30, 45 minutes or so, and it's just really, really, really good. Talked about bagged and boarding. Westworld. Been keeping up with Westworld. Have you been? Are you caught up yet?
Nah.
Man, Westworld is still just killing it. I can't wait to see the next one. This season is, you can tell it's just going to be an absolute train wreck. Everyone is just pushing towards their agenda as fast as they can, and you know that it's going to, like, they're going to collide head on.
Nothing's going to turn out the way you want it.
Yeah, and it's just like so many more questions. But it's the last season or the last episode was all in it's not in Westworld.
They found a Shogun.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it is great.
I've been seeing the some gifs of the Shogun there, which I'm glad because I'm pretty sure we had a nice nerd argument about if they were going to go there or not, and I was right.
No bets on that one though.
No. Did I say they weren't going to go there?
Said
that sounds like something I would say.
Yeah.
But they ended up going there. True Blood season 2. We're on season 2 of True Blood. still chugging through it.
Is that the orgy season or is that?
That's absolutely the orgy season.
I think that's where it stopped.
And I think we're in the end of that season because there's some other good stuff in it, but the main ad stuff.
I like Jason going to the church.
Yes, Jason going to the church was
it's
great.
A lot of fun.
I remember that,
and I really, really like Godric, who was the maker of.
Eric.
Eric. Yeah. And I like him, and I like some of that stuff, but the main ad stuff is so crazy and weird. Yeah, it's just an orgy. It's just seriously just an orgy. The whole stuff with the Sam's other shifter and all that. The guy named Benedict that they call Eggs. I'm not into any of that. So this is definitely when it starts falling apart. But
Eggs Benedict.
I don't know. Yeah, you get it. And me and Mike, who isn't here with us today, we went and saw.
Passed away.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
My R.I.P. R.I.M. Rest in Mike.
His big penis syndrome finally just took over, and he died from having a humongous wiener.
Choked on his own wiener.
Well, the doctors warned him that every time he got an erection, his heart couldn't take all the blood loss.
Yeah,
and he just wouldn't put the porn down.
But we went and watched Solo this week, and we talked about it. That movie had a lot of issues production-wise. I was not thinking anything was going to be good of it. I was just mostly going to see it because we have a movie pass, and it's Star Wars. I mean, I didn't like Rogue One, but it's still Star Wars, you know? It was surprising. I will say the first act is, I think, a little slow. I don't think you have to really introduce a character like Han Solo. And they didn't really, but they sort of did, and I just didn't care about that. But the last two-thirds of the movie were really good. Donald Glover was really good. I forget what's his name that plays Han Solo, did a good job. He passes.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah, Harrison Ford. He did a good job. There were some really good surprises, and there are a ton of Easter eggs in this one, extended universe Easter eggs.
Like, does Amelia Clark die third act or second act?
She doesn't.
Okay.
Spoiler.
That's just been my theory. I was like, they're introducing a love interest. She has to die. It's prequel.
Nope. She doesn't, and
If Chewbacca dies, there's a second Chewbacca.
they're wait, haven't they done that before? What did they do that on? Oh,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Gotham seemed like it had done that before, but it almost feels like they're setting up for a sequel to it.
Oh God!
But not in a bad. Like I wanted it. Like watching it, I was like, oh shit. I was hoping there was going to be another like 30 more minutes of this movie.
I heard one thing about it, and I was like, really?
There's one thing that's very spoiler-y.
Yeah, that's
a very exciting thing for me. So I don't want to mention it. But
no.
It was good.
All right, cool. Is that it for your nerd on?
That is it for my nerd on.
All right, I'll go ahead and kick mine. So I finally watched Justice League Dark, and that was really good. I
liked it.
I enjoyed it. You know, I
wish it was less of a Batman movie.
Yeah,
I was surprised how much Batman was in it. Honestly,
yeah.
I didn't expect that.
I was hoping for more like more Constantine and more Swamp Thing.
I thought it was more Constantine. I thought Batman really took like a backseat through the show. I was actually disappointed that there wasn't more Swamp Thing because that was actually
Swamp Thing was the bombs. So Swamp Thing was the tits.
That was the reason
that was so good.
That was the reason I hit play on it. I was like, man, I want to know more about Swamp Thing. And I'm sure I'll get. And he maybe had like 10 minutes of screen time, but he did do some.
But it was awesome screen time.
Zantana, or is it
Zatanna?
She was pretty badass, actually.
Yeah,
she is badass.
She's another character I really like. All of these Mystic DC characters, this is the stuff I love from DC. I love John Constantine. I love Zatanna. I love Swamp Thing. I love Deadman. All that stuff to me is so cool.
Yeah, Deadman was fun. It made me think of Blaze the whole time. Just
of course.
Deadman run around. Yeah, so it's on our Vudu for the guys here. I highly suggest a good something to watch while you're doing other things, or just watch the whole movie.
Cool.
I finally signed up for Movie Pass. I haven't got it. But
nice.
I kept asking. I was like, why?
Now you can go see all these shitty movies for free with us.
Well, I was like, someone was talking about Solo. I was like, I don't want to spend my money on it. I was like, I'll sign up for Movie Pass, and once it comes in, I'll go see the movie.
Were you able to do the month to month, or did you have to do yearly?
$10 a month.
Okay, because they've been changing back and back. Okay.
Yeah, that's what
for
ours
a while,
was.
I think right before you got yours and right after I got mine, you could only do it for a year.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted you to spend like $100 or $120 or...
Yeah, it was less than that. That was when it was $6 a month.
Okay.
But it was like 12 months.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But finally signed up for that. Finally finished reading through Rhaenyra, the Rhaenyra Revelations, and I loved it just as much the second time around, man. I just love that story. I've talked about it before. I won't go into detail, but I've been putting off reading this other terrible book for our book club, and Kurt Vonnegut. What is it? Sirens of Titan. Yeah. I'm having a hard time getting into that. It's just what we talked about
was
earlier.
rough the first half. But
It's just the way the writing is, and then with doing Audible with the guy reading it, because he'll do a great voice, like because the guy talks. There's a gentleman who is he comes back to he comes to Earth once every 56 days for 1 hour, and besides that he's stretched across time, and he comes and visits his wife, but he talks like a lot of muxy like this, and he says what you're gonna say. So he'll be like, and when are you gonna go do this? He said, and then I'm gonna go talk to that. He said. And then it'll switch to his wife, and she's like, well, you don't ever want to listen to me, she said. And it just drives me crazy because it's every other sentence is dropping those in there. And it's, I'm just riding on the road.
I kind of think at a point that it's on purpose, especially as it gets later into the book. It definitely feels like it's on purpose that they do that.
About to make me stop listening to the goddamn book. Like, I'll just read the Wikipedia page and...
You're at that point where the joke gets unfunny, and so if you keep pushing on a little bit further, it'll get funny again.
But the thing is, the joke was never funny to start with.
It was the 50s, Nate. I mean, you got to give it something.
I rewatched Almost Famous. It's been a while.
Oh, I love Almost Famous.
It's one of the best movies ever made. I don't know. I
have the one called Untitled, because that's what it was originally supposed to be called. The special edition Blu-ray. Never watched it.
I'd be curious to see some of the
extra stuff and all.
Stuff, my favorite thing about the movie is not only is it just great actors, great soundtrack, but the band Stillwater, the songs they made up for the movie are phenomenal.
Well, and what's the guitar player's name? His real name?
I don't know.
It's not Jason Lee.
Jason Lee was
Him.
the singer.
Who's the other guy? Anyway, he's the guy that played. Anyway, whatever. The guitar player from that movie was actually taught by Peter Frampton to play guitar. All of them took like actual lessons.
Yeah.
So everyone
They
is
look like a
actually
real-
playing the songs.
Okay.
So it's just
And they actually wrote some of those songs. So like Fever Dog, if you get the soundtrack to the movie, the whole song's on there. They recorded the whole song.
oh yeah, like I think the 3 tracks they use are actual real songs.
Yeah.
Or they wrote real songs for
And
it.
for the rap party, they did a whole concert for the whole crew.
I did read. I guess the movie was heavily based on the Allman Brothers,
Yeah.
and I thought that was,
Because Cameron, the director,
he did like
he
it's
used
pretty
to
much a documentary.
it's about his life, and he
Yeah.
toured with them forever.
So if you never watched the movie, I highly, highly suggest. And one,
No,
of
I
the-
think that's one of the best movies of the early 2000s.
yeah, best movie of all time. Not the best, but one of the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the best, just coming of age rock stories. It's good. What else did I do? Oh, okay, so I also bought the McFarlane Rick and Morty Evil Morty set and the spaceship set. I put one of those together. It's weird, doing Legos. I love Legos. Doing the McFarlane ones aren't as fun putting together, but I do like the finished product. They look very clean how they come out.
They look clean, but there's no you.
I never
did,
go, oh
like
shit,
with
that's
the
how
Walking
they.
Dead one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I never went. Oh wow, that's how they did that.
Yeah, because
Did
Lego,
you have
you'll
the governor one?
You'll start. Yeah, I have a few Walking Dead ones, and I never put any of them together. I have the RV one.
wow.
I had it like on a Black Friday special. It was like $20 when it was usually $50. So I read online. I drove down to Walmart like midnight to grab it, and then it just sat in my closet for. Because they're kind of a pain in the ass to put together. The directions are not as clean.
And they're
as,
very intricate.
but
They're just kind of boring too.
Yeah,
and
'cause, like,
you can't really customize it
when
You
you're
can't-
building Legos, sometimes you'll be like, well, how is this going to work out? And as you do it, you're holy shit, this is really cool.
And you feel like you're building something upside down, and then they show you how to put it together. And it's like,
Yeah.
you clever little.
I don't know. There's a sense
bastard.
of there's like a sense of pride in the Lego
Scandinavian
ones.
sons of
Scandinavian
bitches.
bastard.
Yeah, you're like, holy shit, man! I built that on the McFarlane ones. Like, I built
With
that.
the system.
With the McFarlanes, it's like you're just building a scene.
Yeah,
It's like a model kit almost.
it kind of is. And like I said, I do like the end result because I think it does look really good.
It's very tedious.
For displaying. Because I think McFarlane, if you're just going to display, is actually a lot better visually than Legos. Legos still look cool, but like they're
They
ultimately
look like Legos.
but they're
though.
also made to be played with. Legos are actually meant for kids to build them and play around, and they have all these things that they put together. So when a kid gets done, they can actually sit there and play with their set. With McFarlane, there's not much to play with. It's literally you're supposed to stand it there and walk away and use it as a display piece.
Might as well super glue it along the way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's
Yeah.
not a terrible idea. They do lock pretty hard, though. They're a bitch if you fuck up. And then the last thing I did, I worked a lot this week, so I didn't nerd out a whole bunch. But I did buy 2 video games. I bought this dwarf. I can't remember what it's called. I do not like the style of the game. I tried to play it. It looked cool. It was like $10 at GameStop.
I thought that was a weird choice for you when you showed it to us.
So, like, reading Rhaenyra, one of my favorite characters is Magnus, and he's
really?
a dwarf. I love Magnus. And like, I always like the idea of like the history of dwarves and stuff like that, like because they've been around forever and they're the builders of the world. And like the video game is actually based off of a book, and like I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool idea, and. It's like a top-down RPG, and I don't know. I just don't like the controls to it. It wasn't intuitive right away, and I like to play games that we kind of talk about for the story, so I don't want to have to learn a bunch of different controls to get through it.
Yeah.
But I also bought Dying Light, and that game is a
That's the
lot
one
of
Mike
fun.
was talking about?
I bought it off of Mike's suggestion. Because for $20 at GameStop, I got like the Game of the Year edition that had all the DLC and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I'll buy that. I'll buy that for $1. And Mike kind of gave it
20
good
of
reviews.
them.
And man, it's a fun game. I'm not really big on horror-based games because they legitimately stress me the fuck out in scenes. But this one, like especially when you play during the day, you can run away from the zombies. So it's more about the strategy of parkouring around and finding different stuff. Because the only thing that really makes me mad is you'll get a monkey wrench and you'll start beating zombies in the head, and your monkey wrench starts needing to be repaired.
What?
I'm like, it's a monkey wrench. I don't got to repair a monkey wrench. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I could hit every one of you guys in the head with a monkey wrench, and the monkey wrench be fine.
Yeah.
So, but it's a cool game. I just get mad, and Mike did say, as the game progresses, your weapons, of course, you upgrade them, and it's not nearly as frustrating because it takes like 30 hits on certain zombies to kill them, and
Oh God.
these are like your base level zombies. So I'm getting mad, but that's it. So, Chuck,
Since you were talking about Legos earlier, I'll continue. And I bought my first Lego set and put it together.
what'd you get?
The Thanos brick head.
Oh, okay. You
Okay,
did.
okay.
I started small, so
How
I
was
was
the brick head? I haven't built any of those.
Didn't take long, probably about 15 minutes, but like there's circle pieces that you're using within the head, but they're completely covered.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, why did they have a circle piece?
This is going to be another how do Legos work?
No, I
conversation with
don't
Chuck.
get it because the head doesn't move or anything. So why is it just a round piece surrounded by a square?
Well, isn't it so there's something in the middle in case it won't collapse?
But why not just have square pieces? Regardless, it was kind of fun. It was like a 10-15 minute build for like I got it for $8 at Walmart.
You're thinking way too much into this, Chuck.
I saw the circle. I was like, can his head move? And it doesn't move, but the arms are articulated. They move.
Anyway.
But regardless, like I said, it was $8. I was like, okay, it was fun. But only other thing I've done because I've worked, like Nathan said, he's worked a lot this week. I worked a lot this week. Finished the second season of the Great British Baking Show. A lot better than the second season, in my opinion, or than the first season, because the three people that were the finalists, they were the ones that I liked throughout the whole series.
Mhm.
And even the one that won, I was like, okay, she deserved it now.
Yeah.
As opposed to the first season. But other than that, been listening to how Nathan also said he went through it, but I'm still not done with the Raya Revelations. I'm on the air of NerdOn, the third book, and I just started the second book, The Child.
I don't know the names. I always forget them. What's going on story-wise right now?
So far, Royce is now officially my favorite character because he's went complete ape shit after Gwen got killed.
Okay, so you're on the final book then.
Yeah. Mercy is now in the refugee camp, and Luis Geist has just stormed in. That's where I'm at. But I'm loving it. I thought the Empress was going to be she ended up being my favorite character for a while after the little... Yeah.
She's good. She
Thrice. After her reveal of, oh, I know the entire plan, she gets rid of... not Solder, the guy she's supposed to marry, and just telling Solder the entire plan. And he's just like,
it's such a good scene. That scene, and there's another one where it's kind of a minor character. It's the Pickering sister, where she fights Luis Guy when he's chasing Mercy.
I haven't got the guy just came to the camp.
Okay.
I have not gotten to anything of that. I haven't gotten to that yet.
You're getting it.
Yeah, I'm almost there, but I'm not there
Shoot
yet.
me a message when you get done with that, because that's one of my favorite little... It's not like a pivotal scene in the overarching story.
Yeah.
It's just one of my favorite little parts of the book.
Now, the college got what... It's been destroyed. Did they say it was the elves that did it?
Yeah.
Okay, because I remember they kept saying, like, they got to get the horn and the air has to blow it. And that was the other cool twist, that it's not Deegan Gaunt.
Yeah.
But I thought it was... Apparently, it's this kid that Arcadius is like... Maybe you should have her be the child of the Empress, just in case, since y'all are thinking about killing her, she could be the heir. I was like, it was pretty good.
Like, it's funny because when you read the books, like most people's criticisms, I guess, if there's because I don't really think there's a whole lot of critique as overall. It's just an enjoyable story. It's definitely not. But the first book is almost like a D&D play along, like, you go on a mission, the mission turns bad, and you go on another mission, and then it reveals. But then they build out the story more. So I'm glad it's literally one of my favorites.
It is good. But I will definitely have to go through it again at a higher speed the next time, because it forces me to focus on stuff. Because, like, certain characters, I'm like, I don't really remember a lot about them.
Sure.
So, but enjoying
Magnus,
that.
Man. Magnus.
Really?
Really, Chuck?
No, because he was like, Hadrian was his favorite. And I'm getting one
Hadrian's
his aunt. Hadrian's good. But Magnus, really? All he wants is Oberon.
Just give him some more. He's still got some story to go.
Not much.
Elderon.
It's like goddamn French over here to me.
Oh, shut up.
Read the books, right? You would probably actually enjoy the books.
And should I go the first three after this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The prequels are very standalone. You could technically actually start with the prequels and work in.
Mike had said start with the.
Well, here's what's
the
nice
original
about
three.
it when you do the prequels is because he talks so much about what actually ends up being in the prequels. It's like you're like, oh, I remember them mentioning this story, like when they would break into the Crown Tower. Like they go back into that, so it's pretty enjoyable because there's a lot of nods and winks to the regular.
Okay. But other than that, just looking at the stuff that Hasbro's coming out for Marvel Legends, the rest of the year, the Marvel Studios 10 years thing set they're going to come out with, really excited about that. Pretty much it's going to be like stuff, and it's the movie version, so it's like you'll have the Captain America Civil War with Crossbones set, Red Skull with 3 different heads, so you can have 3 different Hydra characters instead, along with the Red Skull. And they released this week the last set that's going to be coming out for whenever the rest of them come out, but it's a Mark 50 Iron Man with a light-up reactor, a reissue of the Thanos Build-A-Figure from the movie, but with 2 interchangeable heads, and a movie Doctor Strange with the magic effect. So,
nice.
I'm ready for that, and I'm ready for my fucking Avengers Wave 2 Build-A-Figure series to come in from BBTS.
When does that come in?
I'm seeing it's already arriving in some stores. People are posting it on Instagram. But BBTS is saying it's still estimated delivery June of 2018.
Okay.
Well, that could be as soon as next week.
Oh, I know.
Literally.
I know. I have the money still in my bank, but people are already finding that and waiting for the next wave of pre-orders coming out, because apparently the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure set, the new X-Men set, it's in Canada. People are posting pictures. They have it.
Good.
But it's not pre-order
it's on
anywhere.
its way.
Yeah.
It'll be on its way.
I'm waiting, so that's all I've been doing. Don't have it.
I don't want.
We'll have to do an unboxing video when you get all those.
All right. So this week, for TV, I watched Toys That Made Us. Also been watching that Everest Beyond the Limit show that I talked about last week. I got through season 2 this week. Man, I after reading that book, I had no interest of ever climbing Mount Everest. And watching this is giving me a new reason every time I watch a new episode of why I don't want to climb this mountain. I do like watching other people do it, though.
Tell you, TJ, let's just go on a trip and hang out at base camp.
Just fun. Dead man walking, sitting there with my beer, right?
You going up there? Nah.
No.
Not at all.
I'm just going to be down here to haul your body off.
But,
because I'm hot
man,
cocoa.
there's this, so I watched the second season this weekend. This guy, he was on the last season, and he got like 300 feet from the top, and they had to turn him around because it was too late. So he comes back this year.
300 feet?
300 feet, which doesn't sound like a whole lot.
But
well, it
that
sounds like
high
a whole
up?
lot.
Yeah.
But you're on that mountain, and you're already at like 28,000 something feet.
Yeah.
300 isn't crazy.
Yeah.
That's like you're there.
Yeah. He's within eyesight and seeing it. And
you can see it.
It took an hour to convince him to come down. It's like, you do not have enough air to get to the top and get back down. You're going to die. He's like, look over there. He's like, 10 feet away, there's a body of somebody that didn't turn around when they told
Did that
you
body
to.
still have oxygen on it?
No.
What is this on?
It's on Amazon Prime.
Why Amazon Prime?
I don't want to spend
It's
more
like-
money.
Man, just turn your ass around, because if your body's up there, there's no way of getting it down. Besides
there
maybe
forever.
throwing it over a cliff and it come down and then. But
You
even
become
Slide
then,
them down.
You become a new marker.
yeah, you're a new marker.
There goes the old red boots.
Yeah.
You're about 300 feet.
Yeah, and it's no lie. This one, they walk into Camp 4, which is the last camp before they get to the top, and there's fucking dude dead in the middle of the camp who maybe had been dead like a day or two. They can't. It's not like you have enough power to pick the thing up.
If you
and
die
move
up
it.
there, your body's up there forever.
It's there.
And I'm
Yeah.
not joking. They really use the dead bodies as markers.
Yeah.
There's like there's the green jacket. There's a guy that you just walk by, and there's a dead body with a green jacket on there. It's been there for probably, I don't know, 30, 40 years now. give or
Yeah.
take.
So,
Yeah, it's
this
no
guy
joke, dude.
was-
Ever it's no joke.
yeah, this guy was climbing and he fell, broke his hand, broke 2 bones in his right hand, so he can't use his hand because he can't heal and everything else. His hand's swollen and shit. So he doesn't tell the people that, hey, my hand's broke, I can't go all the way to the top, because I don't know if I can get down. Because on the way up, he can use his left hand to grab safety ropes. On the way down, you're supposed to use your right hand and shit. And that's the hard part, is getting back down. And fucking dude gets up there, gets back down with that broken hand. I mean, he needs help coming back down, but like, God damn. No fucking way.
You gotta think though, when you spend all that money to go over there, there's there's already a drive inside of you, and then you now have spent $30,000,
50,
yeah. Like, you know, you're like, there's no way I'm not fucking going to the top. Like,
yeah.
What is the percentage of people that try to go to the top that don't go to the top? That's what I'd like to know.
I think it's like 4%.
Yeah,
I think it's like 4%.
4% make it.
4% die.
Oh, okay. No, I'm talking about like that go that don't make it to the
good
top.
I mean, like,
that go that don't make it. It's, I don't know, probably
not high.
no,
It's-
a
or
good bit of
that.
people go there, like,
Yeah.
because they have the Sherpas, they have trainers, because there's expeditions. I mean, like, when we were reading the book, the one of the biggest complaints that most people say about Everest is like, you don't have to be that skilled of a mountaineer climber, like to make it. You just have to have pretty basic skill set, because it's been so they've built it out so much where you can get across.
Gotcha.
But it's more the conditions are so
endurance
rough.
and the challenge.
Yeah, you know, like, I mean, you
you're
don't
at
have
cruising speed of a jumbo jet.
Yeah.
Up there.
you know, so you can pretty much, as long as you have the as long as the weather's right, that's really what it kind of breaks down to. Reading the book and kind of seeing that stuff is, if you get a good break of day and stuff, you can get up there and get down, and it's not the most difficult climb in the world. Like, I think like K2 and O, those are like the real. You got to be a true climber for those.
Yeah, I mean,
Everest,
they had one guy come down. One of the guys in the first season, he was fucking around with that other guy, and they had to talk him down. They finally got him to come down, but dumbass lost every finger on both of his hands and part of his face and everything from frostbite.
Good God.
Because it was negative 40 degrees up.
because of the conditions. Yeah,
The worst thing is he can't bait anymore.
Yep, that's the
Probably
worst,
the worst
thing, Chuck.
No fingers.
So I did that. Katie and I built some Star Wars Lego sets we had in the closet, and watched Force Awakens and Last Jedi. We were doing it. It was the third time I've watched Force Awakens.
Hot and heavy night.
Yeah, well, afternoon. But so it is the third time I've watched Force Awakens, and the second time I've watched Last Jedi, and both of them are still pretty stand-up movies. Still like them. And as far as new stuff I got this week, I had 2 Hot Toys come in this week, which were newer ones.
Mm-hmm.
The Hot Toys Homecoming Spider-Man, the deluxe version, and the Hot Toys Anakin Skywalker from Episode 3.
Anakin's hot.
Anakin's really good.
That's nice.
The face sculpt is amazing.
I just hate his hair from the movie too.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Pretty flocky.
And then
I want to hear you get.
But
angry.
that cyborg hand that Anakin
God.
comes with
Oh, yeah.
is tight.
That
I mean,
looks
that's
It's
really
articulated?
yeah. All the fingers are articulated. It's just amazing.
Okay.
So it's a great figure. I highly recommend it if you're a Star Wars fan.
Tell me about that Spider-Man.
Okay,
That's what I want to hear about.
this one I'm kind of disappointed in. The Homecoming Spider-Man, it's the tech suit deluxe version. It's really great. It's got an amazing Tom Holland head sculpt with it. Lot of accessories, like the backpack, yellow jacket, and everything. A hoodie, and just all kinds of shit. A vulture helmet.
Shitload of display options.
Yeah. Here's the problem. The suit. The suit looks really good. And the figure looks really good. But with the material they used and how tight it is, if you bend a knee on it, the suit gets caught in the joints. And so it creates like a scissor effect and almost and cuts holes in it. And this is Spider-Man. I mean, you want to bend its legs, you want to put it in poses.
I'm surprised they use those type of knees instead of the like the flexible ones.
Yeah, I'm really surprised they didn't use something. I can't imagine how they didn't notice this happening with their prototypes and stuff. Honestly, I love the look of it.
Yeah.
But this is one of the first Hot Toys figures that I've got that I've been disappointed on. Usually I've done enough research on it and everything, and even issues.
Are other people having the same issues?
Yeah, it's a known issue, and I knew it going in with the figure because when it was released in Hong Kong back in January.
Okay.
So it's a known issue, but it's a great looking figure anyway.
Figure.
And they did like 2 waves of it, which is why I've got mine so late. It's just one of those things where it's like, how did you not see this?
Yeah.
And how did you go ahead and release this product, especially at the price point and everything?
Has it been an issue through both waves?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same issue. So I'm just really disappointed in that, and which is sad because this was my Spider-Man that I wanted in my display and everything, and now I don't want to sell it necessarily because it does look really good.
Yeah, you just can't Spider-Man it.
Yeah, I can't do any like.
You're gonna have to have a museum pose or something like that.
And that's exactly what I have it in the cabinet right now.
Does it have the same issue with the elbows, or is it the suit loose enough at that
The
joint?
suit's loose enough at the elbows. The material's different and everything, and there to where it is loose enough. But I think it's just that blue material that's in the legs, and it's only that blue material there. There's none of the red that comes up on it, like on the arms, that really affects it. So, I don't know. It's a bummer to me because I can't do any web swinging poses. I can't do any crouching poses.
Can you possibly move the material up to bend?
Is a pain in the ass.
Okay, never mind.
It really, even if you pull it too much, you're going to stretch the material out and it won't fit right.
Gotcha.
So you're
TJ's pissed.
You're in a catch-22 in it.
Well, I mean, for what was the price point on it?
Was that a 260 one?
It's over 260. It's like a 270.
All right, so close to $300, and you can't do.
You can't do anything with
there.
it.
You can move its upper body, but you can't really do anything.
You can do stuff with it, but you're going to risk it, and you almost
don't
are
want to.
going to damage the figure.
So you're literally you're in fear of damaging it. So
damned if you
can't do anything.
damned if you don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get your frustration on that, man.
Yeah. So that's where I come down on it. It's I definitely wouldn't pay the secondary market prices on it now.
Yeah, because it's going high on the secondary market.
Stupid
You
high.
should just sell it on the secondary market and make some cash.
But like he said, it's the Spider-Man that he wants.
Yeah.
You'll get another one.
There's not going to be one in Infinity War.
You got Homecoming 2 coming out.
No, it's
That's true.
Iron Spider that's out there, but
You got Prep Rally
it's
or
kind of like
whatever they're going to call the second Spider-Man.
I feel you, TJ.
Senior year.
Junior year.
Yeah.
He was a sophomore in the last movie.
Pep Rally. Spider-Man Pep. All right, let's
Pep
go.
Squad.
Let's go to the news.
Spider-Man prom night.
Mathletes.
That's Mathletes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce you to the newsman of the evening, Jimmy Ray Hancock. Come on now. He's with the news. You're gonna read the news now. Jimmy Ray is reading the news. Hey Ray, what type of news you got tonight? Well, I hope it's good. This is Ray with the news. Here we go. Ray's with the news chat. Ray's reading the news chat. Ray's reading the news chat. Ray's reading the news chat.
All right. All right.
All right, now let's talk some news.
I'm so tempted just to talk with you, but I'm trying to
Every time.
just not do it.
So here's some rumors. Universal Studios is in talks to open up a Star Trek land. Star Wars land is, what are they calling that? Universe?
Hey, you know what? Disney's got that exciting new Star Wars land coming out. What do we got that's exciting?
Star Trek. Yeah, so as people that go to Universal, Nathan, what are your take on this?
I'm not a fan of Star Trek. So.
It's not as exciting.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, to me, when you really honestly, and this is just kind of thing about like they were the original like hardcore fans, like Trekkies, like
yes,
that came,
Star Trek conventions and all
yeah,
that.
like so. I mean, there's definitely, but I don't think it's been as it's crossed the generation gap the same that Star Wars.
It
has.
feels like a lot of the stuff that they'd been cleaning up out of Universal. They got rid of the Back to the Future stuff and
because
a Universal property
and
a Universal property. Jaws, a Universal property.
because they did the they just opened the Fast and the Furious ride.
Are you?
Yeah,
it's
and
getting rave reviews.
It's getting eaten alive.
And Jimmy Fallon, don't forget.
Yeah, they still got the Nickelodeon or not Nickelodeon, the fucking Nintendo that's coming, and that will be
That'll be cool.
That'll be
That
cool.
sounds interesting.
And I don't necessarily think. I mean, when you're opening a ride, if it's done right, it can be fun no matter what the franchise. I mean, honestly, I don't give a shit about Jimmy Fallon. I've heard the ride's pretty fun.
That's what I've heard.
But I don't care about him as a character. So to me, that's not a. If I don't live in Florida and I'm in North Carolina, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna take a trip. Let me look at the reasons to go here. Oh fuck, Jimmy Fallon? No, that doesn't happen. And I think it'll be the same thing with Star Trek. Is that people will be like, oh, that's kind of cool. My dad used to watch that show, or
unless they start doing because they used to have the Star Trek conventions out in Vegas all the time.
They had the Star
and
Trek
they quit doing them.
experience.
Yeah,
They quit it because they weren't
doing
selling.
yeah,
exactly.
Because they weren't getting people to show up.
And there is a new Star Trek that's currently on with the
and they still got the
Discovery.
movies.
Yeah, Discovery.
Yeah.
The movies came
They're
out
doing well.
recently, and I know they haven't done stellar, but they didn't do terrible. At least the first one. I can't remember
The other,
one.
it's had 2 sequels,
Yeah.
so
It's-
they've not done that bad.
So there's definitely an audience for it. It's just, to me, it's not the same level of Star Wars.
No,
I don't think you're going to get that same level of excitement.
no.
Yeah,
I feel the same way. I think Star Trek's always been that kind of like thinking man sci-fi almost.
Mhm.
Yeah. Very political.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's more of a statement on the times,
Society
or something.
and
yeah,
everything.
society than it is actual like exciting sci-fi.
Yeah,
and that's what a lot of people hate about the Star Trek stuff when they do
Yeah.
that. That's
So-
why a lot of people don't like the J.J. Abrams stuff.
But who's going to be marketed to? If you're doing it based on the newer stuff, then you're not going to get the older fans.
Yeah,
I think it's doing the nod and the wink.
Yeah.
You just base it in the universe, and what they usually do in Universal is you don't put it on an exact movie. You make your own part of that universe inside of there. Like, because even like with the Harry Potter stuff, like the rides are all their own extended stories that go on there.
yeah.
Most likely, they'll reach out to the actors that are current now, and they'll bring those in. But at the same time, they'll probably get Shatner. Like, I mean, they would.
Yeah, but it's more of there's a big difference in feel between 60s Star Trek and Next Generation, and that's not even talking about the difference in feel between that and Deep Space Nine and
I feel they would do more the more modern.
Discovery or the Kelvin timeline or whatever else. So, I don't know. I don't know who you're going to market it to. I don't know how you're going to set up the rides.
It's a theme park, so I mean that's going to be marketed to families. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they'll just make a simulation ride, and the one thing Universal does do well is they know how to build the island
world.
around it. Yeah, the world around there. They do.
Now that would be cool, just to have a futuristic world, and they'll just do what we were talking about with the toys. They'll just stamp Star Trek on it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm curious. I mean, like, let's see if it actually comes to be.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some video games, or a video game. We got a trailer for Battlefield V. I guess Battlefield 5.
Disappointment.
5.
Whew.
Nathan had built it up to me,
I
and then
know.
it just
So
We thought it
crashed.
was an alternate history World War II.
Yeah, well, because
it's your fault, Nathan.
when the trailer first starts, there's a lady who has one hand, or has a fake arm, and I thought it, like, the wiring around it was like biomech or something. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then, like, you start seeing the WW2 stuff. I was like, oh, this is an alternate history where you got biomechs mixing. This is fucking badass. And then nothing else was like futuristic.
It's just a claw.
And I kept waiting for something more. And then she comes out. I was like, oh, she just has a fake arm.
It looked like a one of the little rakes you use in your garden
Yeah.
taped onto her
Like a
arm.
potato rake.
I was
Like
hoping she would just
Snake.
pull her arm back and go, "I'm a monster."
But it was a lot going on.
And that's
in that
why
trailer.
you don't hold live grenades.
That's why you don't start a war. And it's like Hitler, like no. I mean, graphically, it's a video, so I imagine that when
it looked like there was some gameplay in
and
there.
if that was
There
true
was some
gameplay,
great
that looked
gameplay
really
in it.
good.
Because you had the HUD screen on there, you had
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
stuff on there, but it was like a lot going on. I was like, "What the
It
hell
looks
is
like
happening?"
Battlefield, though.
Yeah, they're battlefields. Yeah, they're always crazy, hectic.
Fuck that.
I played the Battlefield 3, I think, when the PS4 first came out. Like that was the first game Christy bought for me, and it was a blast. It was one of like those like massive online players where it's like your team of 50 versus team. So it has this grand epicness to it when you play it online. I remember enjoying it, but
You can do all the vehicles that you see and everything.
vehicles. It's insane what you can do. So
The problem with me with all of these games is I'm already not good at video games.
Yeah.
And I'm also not going to throw down $75 or whatever it is when it comes out. So if I buy it, it's going to be like months later
10 years later.
where everyone is already like super badass at it, and I'm showing up with like a Ruger or something, So
Hey,
I just get slaughtered left and right.
I took forever to get on Battlefield on 2, and
Yeah.
I still suck Battlefront. Yeah, I still suck.
Yeah.
But
It's fun.
I have my fun. I don't care what
There
they
you go.
think.
There
man.
you go.
I'm gonna do me.
Have you played through the campaign of that yet?
I got to the Luke part, and then I started playing online and kind of.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I got to the Luke part as well, and it's kind of I stopped. I've been playing Mad Max since. So
Gotcha. I'm still interested in it. Moving on, TV shows. So HBO is doing The Watchmen, and the guy that's working on it has said that it's going to be a different thing. It's not a reimagination of the comic. I think he's going to move on from that because that was only, I think, a 12-issue limited series to begin with.
Yeah.
Something 12, 16 issues.
is it past the point of the end of the comic?
I'm not sure.
Is it a prequel? Or?
That I don't know. But they did announce some of the people that are going to be in it. Regina King, who was in Ray and The Leftovers. Tim Blake Nelson, who was in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Don Johnson from Miami Vice and Nash Bridges.
I thought that was an interesting one.
Yeah, Louis Gossett Jr. from A Gentleman or An Officer and a Gentleman.
I'm hearing
and
this for the
Iron
first
Eagle.
time.
Huh?
An Iron Eagle.
And Iron Eagle. And Adelaide Clemens from The Great Gatsby, which I haven't seen, and Andrew Howard from Limitless. So those are some of the people that are going to be in it. It's a pretty decent cast for a TV show. I didn't know they had Don Johnson money going
But
towards
it's
this.
HBO, right?
But it is.
It's not cable. It's HBO.
I'm just. I don't know. I don't know
interested.
where they're going with the story, though.
HBO stuff, especially when it's a thing like this, like some of their comedy stuff has been like kind of meh, but
Their comedy's good.
their comedy stuff can be really good, but there are like misses. They do have misses.
Oh, all the time.
But like this kind of stuff, like more serious tone stuff that they really seem to put their time into, because they're looking for another Game of Thrones right now.
Well, especially
Yeah.
if you're having to pull, you got to think about the franchise rights. This isn't their own made up.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is they're having to pay Warner
paying-
Brothers money for this.
So my thought would be that you're probably going to get a pretty decent end product
Yep.
from that.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Alan
They're
Moore
serious, it's
involved
good.
at all?
Alan Moore will never be involved with anything like this. He's pissed
Okay.
anytime anyone tries to do any of this stuff.
Probably sitting in his tiki hut, just
But
dropping acid.
the director did send out a letter, and you can read it. I think it's on his Twitter. That was basically like, "Dear Alan Moore, when I was 15, my dad handed me 2 comic books and said, 'You're not ready for this.' And I sat in my bedroom with a flashlight, and I was ready for it. This kind of thing where it was like, this is important to me."
Yeah.
Not looking for his favor, because you won't get Alan Moore's favor.
No.
But from reading it, it was like, okay, this guy actually really cares about this franchise. So
That's good.
Yeah. The only thing is, I don't know where you go from that
It's
story.
Watchmen. Yeah.
It's that story is so contained and
Yes.
so well done.
That's why I just wonder if they're going to go before, because then there's tons of different Watchmen comics out.
Yeah, there's one called Before the Watchmen.
Yeah, so I wonder if they'll probably
which
go
is
with that.
not good.
Yeah, no, they're not. But again, this could be something completely different, which I think is what he's saying it is going to be.
Okay.
Boba Fett movie is a go. James Mangold, who wrote and directed Logan, is going to be writing and directing Boba Fett.
Just drown us with all this Star Wars.
That there's going to be a Star Wars per year for the rest of your life
until these movies keep flopping.
So he'll save his clone and then die on a stake holding its hand.
I mean, this will never happen, but that would be interesting if Boba Fett is just clones still.
Yeah.
It's never. Then that's how he comes back to life. He was actually killed.
No, I'd like that.
I would like that a lot.
That'd
We
be a
just
really
wrote the
good
movie
take.
for you, James. Get a hold of us.
I really was enjoying. There's it was on one of the movie websites where they put it out, and their call to Hollywood is to cast The Rock as Boba Fett.
What?
Because
Sit down, TJ.
Well, because
Can you
John
smell
Hamm.
what the Fett?
John Hamm. I would love John Hamm as it.
That's a serious casting.
Well, because I guess where this all came from is The Rock is reached out to J.J. Abrams numerous times, wanting to be involved in the Star Wars universe.
Well, fuck yeah, he does. He's a super nerd.
And he apparently growing up was, of course, a huge Star Wars fan, and Boba Fett was his favorite character.
Oh.
So from that little bit of a tweet,
So he's
they're
blazed
saying,
with muscles.
and I'm like, take a look at Boba Fett. He's a 5'9", $120, he's probably like 200-pound regular dude that would show up in a suit. The Rock would look ridiculous in that outfit.
That would be hilarious.
But I'm still hoping that they cast The Rock now as it.
yeah.
So
I know TJ bitches about Boba Fett and everything, but
actually, I really like Boba Fett. This is TJ. He's my favorite character.
But Boba Fett's design is so fucking badass.
Oh, it looks great.
And there is so much story to be told there because you didn't get any in the original trilogy, and you got a little bit because they were trying to cash in on the
in the prequels.
Django,
like
his dad. Yeah, and that was meh. We did get a little bit in, I think it was Rebels, not Clone War, which was kind of cool because he was pretty badass in that, but he was still like young in that. So I think this is of one of these anthology stories that they're doing. I think this is a good one to do.
I out of all of them, I definitely I agree with you. This is to me what the anthology makes sense to do.
Yeah, I would honestly rather see because of I am who I am. I would rather see an entire Bounty Hunters series or movie rather than just Boba Fett. But it makes sense. I mean, it's Boba Fett. He's a very popular character.
Because as right now, they're going to they want to put out the stuff that fans are familiar with.
I have a better role for The Rock, by the way. Post Episode 3 Vader, like hunting down the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock is Vader hunting down the Jedi.
He could also be a Wookiee.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to me, like I rather see them actually develop a character that doesn't have a whole, mythos, as they would say.
There was a bunch of mythos stuff from that is, I guess,
in the comics and the books,
and stuff, but that's all gone.
Yeah, they voided that.
Yeah. But now they can make it on the screen because they've taken some of that stuff and injected it back into the extended universe.
Different than it was before, but
better
different in a lot of ways
Have
too.
you been reading the Star Wars comics lately?
I haven't read any of the newer ones. I read a big chunk of them when they first came out and a big chunk of the Vader ones. I'm still collecting them.
No, I'm just wondering, with the Marvel, is there any big beefy dude in there? Because that could be the Rock.
Oh, I don't know. I can't think of anyone right offhand. There's a lot of big things in Star Wars, though. But yeah, I would rather see a lot of other things. This was a fun thing. Again, this is just an Easter egg. This is not a spoiler. But in Solo, they bring up Bosk.
Oh, nice.
So that's fun. There's a lot of little things like that. So they are pulling in. It feels like, especially with this one, they are pulling in a lot more of the Star Wars universe and kind of marveling it. Where Marvel, you watch a film and there's a ton of little Easter eggs everywhere for you. I love that shit. It's just because I'm a super nerd. I don't know how I ever got laid. much less sometimes, but I love that shit. So that I'm hoping they do more of that in these anthology films. I want them to leave the other films alone, let them just do what they're doing with that. But I love that with these anthologies. Lego Movie 2 is coming May 21st. That was announced via Twitter.
2019, 2020,
2018.
What?
That's what it said.
It's past, dude. We're almost in June.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, no.
So that must have been
2019.
2019.
Surprise at the theater.
Yeah. How have you not seen it yet?
Have you guys
TJ?
heard about the flop Lego 2? No one went and saw it.
Bigger flop.
Yeah. You thought Solo flopped.
Oh, you're really pushing for that.
I
know it's not doing well.
I'm kind of reveling in it.
Yeah. I'm so upset about it because it was actually decent, whereas Rogue One was not.
And I'm not surprised that it's not a bad movie. I with Ron Howard behind it, I had a pretty good feeling that the movie was gonna. Well, while you're looking at it, I mean, is that on the news about the box office? Because
no. You can
all
go
right,
into
so
that.
what kind of time?
off.
So Solo is. They're people are being a lot hard. They're saying it's flopping, but I guess against what they thought it was going to do with world market and everything, it's only at maybe it might top out with tomorrow at 130 million, which is really bad compared to what the budget. That's
China is just not taking the bait.
Yeah,
with
they're not.
with the Star Wars
It
stuff.
did 10 million.
Good
in China.
God.
That's it. And that's what they were kind of talking about is that with the Star Wars movie, it's always kind of 50-50 split with the domestic and the world gross on there. So this movie is underperforming. They're saying this movie might touch 600,000 or 600 million in its life and its full run.
Wow. And they probably have a ton in there now.
And it's got about a 300 million budget for the movie, about another 300 in advertising. Like it's not even due to break even.
As of right now, it's 148.3 million.
Yeah.
Worldwide?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not even going to beat X-Men Apocalypse.
God.
And because I guess their big theory was going to be with how. Because Rogue One it did $1 billion.
It did $1 billion,
yeah. It did $1 billion, and of course, The Last Jedi. So they were kind of betting on this one, but they moved it up to Memorial Day when most people are saying they should have did it in December because that's kind of where they've been owning it lately.
Yeah,
and it's only 5 months after Last Jedi came out.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So because the big thing, and that's what they were kind of talking about. I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about is, do you think that we are going to get true Star Wars fatigue? Because I was kind of thinking about this because people are of course going to compare it to Marvel, but when you compare it to Marvel's releasing a new character, in the movies, continuation with the Star Wars, especially right now, it's been kind of one story.
Yeah, because the team movies are like several years apart. The
5
Avengers
years. And when although there's little connections, it's a brand new story, a brand new character, brand new villain. With this stuff, especially with Solo, particularly, you're definitely still inside the main
and
Star Wars franchise,
and Rogue One,
and Rogue One,
because you're going back to the old well. You're not going.
But
you're not expanding.
Rogue One was still all new characters.
New characters.
This is one of their big ones, though. This is Han fucking Solo.
But the thing with Rogue One, it was a prequel to all that, so you didn't care about the characters.
A lot of people didn't know that going into it, though.
But it's still contained in that same story.
Here's
Solo's
the problem
the same way.
The
I get
problem
what you're
I have
saying.
with Solo, though, is you're peeling back that onion.
Yeah.
And I know in some ways that's good, but in other ways
it's bad.
It's not. It's like growing up with Wolverine. Wolverine was that mysterious guy, and and when he wasn't in every damn thing, when he was just in the X-Men books and everything, in Venom, before you peel back the onion and before you start doing all
it's one
this
of the
shit.
reasons people pitch a fit when they try to give an origin to the Joker.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that.
Like people want it. They want it. When they finally get it,
less is more.
Exactly.
They don't care.
Because to me, it's like, instead of doing Solo, do, like Lando or give him the standalone movie. And then at the end, he meets Han.
Yeah. Have Han be a backup player to that whole thing.
Because,
that would have been interesting.
That would have been a great movie.
Lando, we know a little bit about his character from the movies. I don't know how much he was expanded in comics. I'm sure he's a lot. More. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more there. But when you're looking at the movies, you got very little.
He used to have the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah,
that's all I knew about
you could have really broke his story out more, and then had Han just meet up and be kind of a key player,
or even like as dumb as it's going to sound, a Chewbacca movie.
Yeah,
because you have a character
Subtitles.
that's 100 and something years old, and just him interacting with other characters and stuff.
You've kind of had that come up in episodes of like Clone Wars and stuff like that, and it's been fine. Yeah. It hasn't felt forced, like, Chewbacca's in this episode. Why is Chewbacca got to be here? It didn't feel forced. It felt like a natural part of that story that they were telling.
Because when you look at the box office, like you had Solo, which seemed like it should be the clear runaway for this weekend.
Because I think we're talking like the stuff we're talking about is like nerds, people who are already Star Wars people.
Yeah.
Talking about the general populace that just goes to see movies, Han Solo sounds like a sure bet.
Yeah, because people know who Han Solo is.
Like, and people love Han Solo.
Yeah, they love, but it's one of those things when they see that movie, like, does it automatically ring back to like, man, I love? It's not that you just love Han Solo. You love Han Solo with Luke. You love Han Solo with Leia. You love them doing their adventures together.
Yeah,
Solo by himself doesn't seem as appealing. You know, like I mean, reading a book, I'd be like, all right, cool, I'll read it. It's something about a movie. Just as a nerd myself, it didn't draw me in. The trailers. They looked cool, but they didn't look amazing.
Yeah.
And I do believe you guys when you say it's a good movie.
It's way better than I expected it to be.
I don't doubt that.
And the things, because that was my thing. Like, all this stuff, the Kessel Run, all this stuff, like, leave that shit alone. Let it be epic in our minds.
Yeah.
But they do all the little things that are talked about. And that's the one thing, like, it being a prequel and everything, you get your... zooming in on the first time he gets his gun, and zooming in on Han's dice, and
all the
big reveal of the Millennium Falcon, all that kind of stuff. That stuff is cheesy, and that's the stuff that I'm like, I wish you wouldn't have done that, but I know you had to
fan
do
service,
that.
man.
Why is it all got to be in one story though?
That's I don't know.
That's the other side of it. That's another thing I don't like about
what.
This kind of prequel movie thing is that, okay, so he just happens to get his gun, jacket, ship, and partner all in this one story.
This one time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no history to anything else after that.
So it was really fucking cool hanging out with Han for like this 3 months. The rest of his life was
he didn't
shit.
He didn't do shit. He wore the same outfit, the same diet, the same gun. So he meant that. What I truly hope, because they were talking about in that article, is like Disney is going to reevaluate why this movie's flopping. And they're going to
they're going to evaluate the fuck
because
out of it.
Obviously they're thinking Star Wars is a cash cow. No matter what they stamp their name on, you can put it out there. So I hope it pushes them to go deeper and do more.
I wonder if this is more backlash from the people that were being dumb about Last Jedi.
I don't think it is.
You don't?
No.
General people like The Last Jedi.
Yeah. It has decent.
It
has low
pretty
ratings
split.
compared to the
yeah. It was pretty split. Like even on general
low for Star Wars.
Yeah,
it's still high ratings.
Because it was like 70% audience.
It seems like it's just,
it wasn't.
Yeah, but it was the lower. It was still the lower of them because a lot of them are in the 90%.
That's what I'm saying. But
70%,
and you got to take that with a grain of salt. But that's not that great for Star Wars because, like I said, most of them are in the 90s.
But it's great for most movies,
Yeah.
But like I said, this is supposed to be Star Wars level. It should be, like if this is a $1 billion movie where like they should be always hitting, I think they should be consistent with it.
Yeah.
Well. We're talking about when it came out too a little bit ago. Originally, episode 9 was supposed to come out next May.
Yeah,
not next December because that got pushed back as well. And this has been in development hell, and everybody's heard.
Yeah,
I mean, even people haven't been keeping up.
Because Ron Howard wasn't originally attached to this,
and no one ever bought into the guy that's playing Han. Like I said, like he just. Disney made a lot of bad calls.
I feel like it wasn't pushed as much as like most of the other things.
I seen a lot of preview. I think it was pretty. I mean, like
there were two real
trailers. Trailers weren't there? Yeah.
Well, they did hold back because of the last, and I think that might have hurt them. It's like, all right, we have to let the Last Jedi get its moment before we start
Avengers.
Yeah, before we
that's
start
still Disney
pushing.
Which also, I think you had Avengers, which is still making money. Deadpool. just came out last week is still making money.
This should be
Then they
pushed
dropped
to
their
like
third one.
October
They
or
should-
something.
They
I
should have
think-
kept it, like you said,
I think
with the December
December
release.
I think December would have been smarter.
Yeah, would've been.
But you got to think, Solo is a family. You're not going to take your family to see
You know,
Deadpool.
usually,
No.
Yeah,
this
Deadpool's-
weekend is the start. This is when you
Yeah.
Yeah.
traditionally they started. Memorial Day weekend was the big summer blockbuster.
But
Exactly.
they've changed the game so much.
Yeah,
lately, how it is.
absolutely.
But with that being, it's like you had like Deadpool isn't in contingent with Solo. Like if you're
No.
like families are going to go see Solo, you're not going to take your kid to see
No.
Deadpool. But the fact that it just like underperformed so much,
Yeah.
and it could be that because like Infinity War still did another 18 million this
Good
weekend.
God.
You know,
So people are going to the movies.
yeah, no, they were saying overall, it was actually really good for the movies. It was just
Yeah.
really bad for Solo because
Weird.
if this movie pretty much needs $1 billion to be like truly profitable for Disney
Yeah.
because of all the money they put in. Like I said, they did about 200 million in marketing.
Yeah. Especially with reshoots and everything else.
Well, that's what
But
made it so
that's-
much more
ouch.
expensive was the reshoots and all that.
That's
really pushed.
pre-toys and everything
I-
else.
I-
Absolutely,
Ouch.
absolutely. I mean, they're still gonna get their piece of the pie,
Yeah.
but they obviously want a bigger piece.
I feel
Yeah.
like with this kind of film, though, with Disney, them putting some extra money into it to make it not suck.
I think
so they don't have a blemish on their thing, even if they don't make their money back. I think they're willing to eat that.
I think
They
in
will.
long run, if the
They don't
movie's
want to.
They'll eat it.
if the movie's good long run, they're going to make their money back. It's
Yeah.
just going to be a marathon, not a sprint like Star
but
Wars stuff
what
is.
they really needed is, especially if there was such a people on the fence about going to see it, was a better word of mouth than going, the movie's all right.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what I'm hearing. The movie's okay.
Yeah.
I've only heard like the people that like our buddy Matt. He of course loved it, but that dude's a diehard Star Wars fan.
Yeah. Every diehard Star Wars fan I've seen loved it,
But
which I expected this one to be the one where they turned against it.
But
most-
everybody else I've been seeing, everyone's like, it was okay. I haven't heard anybody say it sucked, but I haven't heard too many people raving about it.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I've been hearing is better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard
Because I
that
thought it
more
was going to
than
be
anything.
really bad.
And
Yeah.
you know, I can only judge stuff so much off of what I like social media that I see.
Yeah.
But like my Facebook has been just full of Deadpool stuff.
yeah.
People truly, I've seen only
And
a
still
handful of stuff
Avengers.
about Solo. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, tons of it. You can tell how important a movie is by like the memes that come out afterwards.
Yeah.
because it kind of correlates. People like the movie, so they start making stuff out of it to kind of go with it.
Exactly.
I see tons of stuff about Avengers. So I have seen pretty much nothing except for a couple. Solo wasn't that bad, or you
Yeah.
guys should go see it. That's it. Like
Yeah.
so that to me,
It's pretty good, guys. Go see it.
yeah. As Ray said, it's all right. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
That's our official review.
Yeah.
They'll take the hit
It's
on it.
It's definitely worth seeing. I like it a lot more
I'll
than
see
Rogue
it when
One.
my movie pass comes in,
Yep.
if it's still in theaters.
All right, moving on. So we got some Spider-Man Homecoming 2 news. Michael Keaton apparently is going to be returning for the second one.
Hot damn.
Hell yeah.
Yep. And Jake Gyllenhaal is in talks to play Mysterio.
They're finally going to get Jake Gyllenhaal in a Spider-Man movie. How many times have we heard Jake Gyllenhaal is going to be Spider-Man? Or
A lot.
Batman, or Batman.
Or Batman.
Yeah.
If I hope he gets in this movie just so they stop
So he
talking about it
doesn't
in
be
every
Batman.
other role.
Yeah.
Because
Ugh.
every time there's a role, they're like, well, we're considering Jake
I
Gyllenhaal.
don't like Jake Gyllenhaal, but him being a Mysterio, there we go. That
Hey.
takes him off the books
You
for
know what?
anything else.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
He's a good actor.
He is, but I think he's a
haven't-
creep.
Yeah, in Nightcrawler.
That fits.
Super.
Haven't
I
seen
think
it.
he would have been better a chameleon though.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
That's his jam.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can get Joaquin Phoenix or whatever. However
Joaquin?
you pronounce it.
Joaquin.
Joaquin Phoenix. Get
Horkin?
him- Yeah,
Horkin
Horkin
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Porkins Phoenix.
So TJ, with possible rumor of Keaton being back for the next Spider-Man, do you think, not to derail or anything, Hot Toys would do a Vulture figure?
no,
Damn it.
He probably won't be Vulture, and he'll be still,
he'll be Prison Mike.
yeah.
Nah, man, he's gonna get busted out.
He will, but
Well,
it
'cause
might be near the
Isn't the other rumor I've been
Scorpion's
hearing
in jail
is
also.
they're
Scorpion.
working towards Sinister Six to be in part of this universe.
I mean, people are saying that. That's the rumor. That nothing has been confirmed about
I think
that.
they're gonna go that route.
But I mean,
Don't go saying that's what you're going to do.
and then don't do it.
Yeah.
Fucking Sony.
I think they're gonna do
God
it.
damn you.
Disney
Don't-
delivering
Don't
Solo.
overdo. Don't overplay your hand, Sony.
You have to build up. I feel like you have to build up Spider-Man, what he is right now, a
More.
bunch before you start throwing in like.
And and really, I don't like the rumors of, okay, well, we'll just switch him out for Miles Morales right now.
No,
You got a good young guy playing Peter Parker that
building
wants
up slowly,
to play Peter Parker.
who's loving his life right now.
Yeah, but how many more movies does he have under contract? Though?
It doesn't matter. He will stay forever right now. He's
like
15 years old.
16 and British. Dude will stay as long as you pay him money. British actors are like that. You pay them money, they are going to stay there.
They do the acting when you pay the money.
But I'm saying, because like with the Marvel thing, how
Doesn't
many
matter.
movies
They
has
can
he signed
just
under?
keep. I don't know. I think they have him for 22 or something. That's not true, guys.
I was about to say.
No, the deal with Sony, I think, is through Homecoming 2.
Oh, for Sony, yes.
Yeah, if Sony has Brain 1 under anybody's head that's up there, they'll re-sign this deal with Marvel. And
They're
like,
going.
let's
Well,
continue
what's going to
this
happen
thing.
is Marvel knows that they're like raking in money now. They're going to want to renegotiate, and so it won't be up to Sony. Sony wants it. I guarantee you, they're going to want it.
I think Sony wants all the pie, and they're going to, because Sony's hurting for cash.
Yeah,
and Sony's going to like, no, we want more of this, and Marvel's going to like, you don't really deserve it.
yeah. I want to see what happens, especially with this Venom movie now. Ugh.
Yeah, if Venom crashes and Homecoming 2 does really well, I think we'll definitely get a renegotiation and a come to Jesus meeting. Yeah.
Paramount is developing a Snake Eyes film from G.I. Joe. They're also reworking, possibly relaunching the G.I. Joe, which is probably good. Those weren't great relaunches that they had 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
There's this Onion thing again.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it doesn't have to be like an origin story.
You kind of got that in one of them.
What?
They played on the origins of Snake Eyes in one of the movies.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
It does.
I know, like I'm saying, but why a solo movie
of a
dedicated to a deaf mute?
Yeah.
I mean,
the costume was cool, but I don't want to.
Shape of Water did great. So
it was more than.
Well, maybe if Snake Eyes fucks a fish monster
or a snake. I don't know.
I know Mike would watch
it's
it.
a much better G.I. Joe movie than I thought it would be.
Men in Black. So they're doing that Men in Black, and Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson are going to be in it, and it looks like they're trying to add Liam Neeson to this.
Who's directing this?
I don't recall. Why are you going to ask me that shit?
I don't know. I thought it might be in the article there.
It might be.
So it's got Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth in it. So you got two
Thor
of the
and
guys from
Valkyrie.
Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
So you have the director there too. I thought it would be kind of interesting.
F. Gary Gray. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
That'd be
who's
fun.
done
They
some
seem to
Fast and
have
Furious stuff.
They seem to have a good chemistry together in Ragnarok. So
yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. It looks like Transformers 7 has been pulled off of Paramount's schedule.
good.
Hey,
So
wait,
we've been
7?
playing- Yeah.
Yeah. There's the Bumblebee movie, which is the 6th.
Okay, I was like,
movie.
wait, there was one after.
Which they're saying now that Bumblebee's supposed to be the reboot movie, but
Yeah.
they fucked with this franchise so bad.
Who knows? Who cares?
Yeah, let's see what they do
It'll
with
still
it.
make $1 billion
What
in
was the
China.
last one that came
Yeah.
out?
That's true.
Doesn't matter how bad it is.
The Last Night.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I tried to watch that. That was terrible.
I haven't.
Oh, yeah, it was.
I haven't.
It
I
was,
had to drink to
it
get
was on
through
the
Age
Voodoo,
of Extinction.
and it was bad.
Yeah. We got a trailer for Mowgli, which is another Jungle Book movie. I honestly, I tried to watch this like twice, and then we watched it before the podcast, and I just couldn't care less.
No,
There's some good
care
people in it.
about
Bale's in it.
Christian Bale,
he
Benedict
does some
Cumberbatch.
Yeah, and
Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett. So there's some good people in there, but
It's just when you
I
have
just couldn't
the
care.
same movie come out 2 years ago, I think now, like,
Why bother?
you know, I get
it always happens.
No,
though.
they always, who can be first to market is usually going to be the winner. And
Yeah.
obviously, I think this movie's going to hurt because of it. Because it didn't.
I mean, I didn't watch the other one.
No,
Was it just Jungle Book? Was it by Disney?
yeah, I
Yeah.
tried to watch the other one, and it was.
Was that the one John Favreau did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Well,
did well.
Like Scarlett
and-
Johansson,
I
Bill
mean,
Murray.
All of the Disney
them.
ones do
Yeah,
well.
all
the live,
Yeah. So they keep doing them, so it's...
but I don't care.
Yeah.
We also got a trailer for Hotel Artemis, which is coming out June 8th.
Well, it looks pretty fun, actually.
This looks good.
It
This
looks
has-
like it's almost in the world of John Wick.
Yeah.
The idea of having these like this secret hospital that's as a hotel where, you know, if you're a contract killer or, drug dealer, you go there to get worked on.
Yeah.
It looks very, very.
So
very
we have Dave Bautista. He's in it.
glad to see him doing something with
I am
Exactly.
and he looks like he's going to be doing this. He's going to be doing his Drax, sort of.
That's fine.
But he's good at it. So
Get your money, play your role.
yeah. And a little less. He'll get to be a little less like, I don't know, dense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The Rock's been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
You can do it, man.
Do your
Get
thing.
your money.
Next time you get on my back, I'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
And then of course our boy
Charlie Day.
Charlie Day is going to be in it. Yeah, but I
I
was
did not know Goldblum was in this.
I
until
didn't
then.
either. I didn't know what that was.
Jeff Goldblum?
Oh, Jeff Goldblum.
I didn't
Yeah.
know he
For
was
some
in it.
reason, I thought you were talking. What's the wrestler?
Goldberg.
Goldberg. That's what I thought you were
God.
talking about. Yeah, Jeff
No.
Goldblum's going to be in it, and that's who I was talking about. Which is God.
The Wolf King.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a lame nickname?
It sounds to me like Jeff Goldblum is to the point in his career where people are like, "Hey, Jeff." We want you to be in our movie. He's like, all right, well, I'll write the part for you, and I'll only do it if
I'll only do it if I can.
He's
if you
got
call
own
me
way.
the Wolf King.
He's gotten to Christopher Walken level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where
He's
he's at.
becoming this generation's Christopher Walken. You're dead on.
Yeah.
His
But- Much better. Much better.
I love some
love
Walken, but I love some Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah,
too.
Jeff Goldblum. I'm there. So this looked good before he showed up.
Who was like the doctor, nurse? Was that Jodie Foster?
That
Yes.
was,
Okay.
that was
Yeah.
Jodie Foster.
So I was on board with this before he even showed up.
I'm
Then when
there.
he showed up, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh
Nah,
yeah.
it looks like it's going to be
Movie pass is paying off
Exactly.
already.
that's going to be a good.
So that
movie.
comes out June 8th. So
June
that's
8th? Oh,
right
that's
around the corner.
2
right
weeks.
around. Yeah, that'll be a good one. We gonna Thursday that one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I can do
as
that
long
one.
as my movie passes.
As long as your movie passes it.
Yeah, I could do Thursday on that one too because
Okay.
everybody's out of town. I'm batching it up that
Oh,
week.
that's the week. So
Yeah.
cool. And then we got a Joaquin Phoenix, John C. Reilly, Jake Gyllenhaal, Riz Ahmed, the Sisters brothers.
Yeah, my dad actually read the book and he said it was okay. It's a comedy western
It
type
didn't
book.
look too comedy though. It's
Oh,
not,
there's
we're not
some-
talking
there's
like
some funny
Blazing
stuff.
Saddles.
No,
No.
There's some jokes.
What do you call like a dramedy? Like, where
Yeah.
it's going to have some heavy drama, but with light. There's
no Wild Wild West, but it's
It's not going to be that classic.
I
is what you're saying.
I like John C. Reilly when he does more serious roles.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Like it kind of think Boogie Nights. That's what that reminds me of. It's going to be serious tones with a lot of humor
Magnolia.
inside
Ooh,
of
I
it. Yeah.
love Magnolia.
And I like Joaquin Phoenix. Like he's a pretty good actor in certain
Yeah.
roles. The other guy, the Ritz guy, he looks so familiar, and I could not put my finger on it.
Yeah. I know.
Is that
God,
Life of Pi?
No, he was The Night of.
That's exactly it.
Oh,
That's,
okay.
that's who it is. Thank you. Oh man, appreciate it. And then Jake Gyllenhaal playing Spider-Man,
and not Nightcrawler. He was
and
also
there's-
in Nightcrawler.
and yeah.
Riz Ahmed was?
really.
No,
It is
yeah, this
Nightcrawler
guy's,
movie?
Yeah, he
Night-
was. He was with Jake Gyllenhaal. He was the
Were you
kid
really
he hired.
disappointed
Him.
when you saw that?
Rogue One. I often I would see that come up. I'm like, what the fuck? That's gonna be horrible. I'm so excited. Oh, it's not what I thought it was. He was also in Rogue One and the Night of.
Oh,
So,
okay,
yeah.
Rogue One. That's where I
Yeah.
recognize him
Okay.
from.
Cool.
The pilot.
Yeah.
in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this looks. I love a western. I
Oh,
love
me
any
too.
kind of westerns. I love
Sign
funny
me up.
ones. I love not funny ones. I love all of them.
Hey, you want to go see it? Yes. Got
Yes,
movie
we'll
pass.
do it.
Yeah.
I think that one comes out this fall. I'm not sure what the date
Yeah, it
is
was-
for
Was
that.
was that a series or a movie?
Movie.
Okay, good.
Movie.
Yeah, I'll go to that. Why not?
I'm looking up the release date now. Let's see. 2018 is what we have. So
So,
we'll
this
see.
year.
I think it's later on in the year. So
Oh, this fall.
And then was that it for your news on there?
Yes,
So
yes.
last that was also on the news that I don't know why Ray doesn't put this interesting stuff on there. Comcast trying to buy Fox.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, they're putting in a money bid on it.
A lot more money on the plate, and obviously, Disney has been in talks with Fox, but it still hasn't went. Ultimately, they got to do what's right for shareholders. So if Comcast makes an official bid, and obviously they put this out there, so they're planning on doing it.
Yeah.
It could really rock the boat on the whole idea, because I was reading. It throws a big wrench on what all of the fans want is X-Men, Fantastic Four, and stuff going back to Marvel.
Which a lot of people believe that the contracts are written that if the property is sold, because this is normally the way contracts are, that the rights will go back to Marvel.
I've read 4 different articles. That is not it at all.
Oh, no one knows. No one's read the contracts. No one has. But that's the way that stuff was written for all the other contracts.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of people think that might be the thing.
Or
but Star Wars, I don't think is the case. So they would get the Star Wars stuff. And Comcast is notorious for sitting on things.
Yeah.
Buying it and just sitting on it and doing nothing with it.
So,
Very curious for them to come in and throw, especially with it being such a public, like everybody talking about
it's
it.
more. It's less about the Marvel stuff for both of them.
Oh, absolutely.
Honestly, it's more about the
That's
other
what
channels.
we care
and the,
about.
That's what affects us. Things like the
what we
Marvel
care
stuff,
about.
the Star Wars stuff, Aliens, Predators, but that's not what
I
the
don't
rest
know.
of them care
It's-
about.
For them, it's more the streaming rights,
that?
all the different things.
Do
that
I
you
want Disney shares or do I want a little extra cash? It's
well,
that 6 of 1.
what they were saying, it's definitely Comcast is a better offer. Like for everything I read in Forbes and stuff like that, like for business, cash offer is way better than stock offers, even if it is Disney stock.
Oh,
So-
see, the stuff I've read has said the exact opposite.
No, you got to.
The stocks stuff is normally the way this stuff will go.
Cash in hand is always better for a business. So I mean, like if Comcast makes an official offer, and it really there's a good chance that the shareholders will go with Comcast's offer over Disney's offer. Because it's a lot more profitable and it's more money and everything right now for it. So we'll see if it happens. I just thought it was very just ballsy, number one of Comcast.
They were always in it. I think that everyone thought they were just kind of over it.
Yeah.
So
I personally, I mean, I don't. It's not for the nerd stuff, but I hate Comcast with a passion.
yeah,
And
it's a horrible company.
They
Yes,
are.
they
are worse than the devil.
Yeah.
So I hope that they don't go with this thing, and if they do, I hope that the FCC or something like that
shuts
goes.
it down.
Yeah.
Nah, dog.
Yeah. And
Which is one of the only times you will ever hear me say that.
Or Marvel DC, Disney makes a counteroffer.
Yeah, I think that'll happen.
Yeah. I think Disney wants this pretty bad. So, especially for all the other stuff.
Because they're putting so much money into their streaming service, and this is a big help and boost for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be like. I think that's what it is. Disney's not responding to it yet because they want to see Comcast put an offer down. Then they're going to go and one.
Yeah. Yeah, because Comcast having part of Hulu, good God, or a part of, a third of at least.
I hate Comcast.
Hulu's already not
horrible.
great.
Yeah.
I've grown to like the format of it more, but yeah.
It just doesn't stream as well as any of the other things that I use. So
No, the tech's bad. The layout's not great. It's unintuitive.
It's very weird. I'll say it again. I really like the Voodoo layout.
way the Voodoo works.
Man, it is awesome. Like if you click on a movie, it automatically gives you the cast, crew, backstory. Like it's
all the special features are there.
It's all your special. Like buying a movie on Amazon, you get the movie. On this, you get all the special features that come with it. It's the bee's knees, man. The Voodoo is awesome.
All right, guys. Well, that's what I got.
All right, have a good evening, bitches.
Later.
Nerds Who Get Laid Sometimes is recorded at the illustrious Big Brown Record Town Studios in beautiful downtown Lake City. Episodes are published each Monday on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and Google Play. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Nerds Who Get Laid. We're at Nerds Who Get Laid on Twitter and Instagram. We're part of the Geeks World Wide podcast network. You can find reviews and articles we write at thegww.com. We're also part of the Modest Pod podcast network. We're on FloridaGeekscene.com and also WeBeGeeksPC.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. You can also check out the show notes for links about things we talked about in this episode. Thanks so much.
This has been a production of the GWW Radio Network. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Also, check out Geeks Worldwide at thegww.com for all the latest news, reviews, and opinions on video games, comics, movies, TV, cosplay, and more. Geeks Assemble!
Let's plug YouTube since we've been doing more YouTube stuff.
Okay.
This really helped drive traffic to YouTube, the site.
Go to YouTube.
I bet we can help them out.
There's some random videos on there that you
I'm
can
sure
watch.
they're
If you like internet videos, you might want to check out the YouTube.
You just go to http:// worldwideweb.u.